lost all control. Her gravity is all that I know. She's over me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. I'm absolutely thrilled you guys are here with me. I'm just trying to make sure everything is connected and working as it's supposed to be. Hello, Beastly Bronco, just popping into the chat. Hello, everybody, and special thank you to Freaky Friday, Kevin, Scotty. You guys are just, I mean, Mike, my God, I'm just getting my ego bloated over there. You guys are the main event. I'm just the guy coming in to sweep up after. So I don't know what you're going on about, but I'm the guy that's sweeping up the mess afterwards. You guys are the main attraction. Thank you so much for all the kind words you guys gave me. I really appreciate it. I'm absolutely humbled, of course, and I'm completely undeserving, I'm sure. But I really appreciate it. It was a great show. Freaky Friday is always fun. I love sitting here getting ready for my show, listening to it. It's just a blast. But you are now watching the Paranormal Portal here on TFR Live, as well as streaming live and simulcasting to youtube.com/Paranormal Portal. So we're kind of all over the place right now. Hello, Beastly Bronco. It looks like you're the only one here in our YouTube chat. I don't know. I did a stream earlier today. Oh, there's that Harvey girl. Good to see you. Hi. Welcome to the show. Did an impromptu field stream today, not field and stream. Went out with Blacktree, or one of our mods, in the chat and on YouTube, and we went out and just checked out some woodland areas where there was some structures found before, and went and checked it out today. And I streamed that live onto our YouTube channel. It was a lot of fun. Possibly found something interesting. But if you're curious about what that is, head over to YouTube and check that out. It was a lot of fun to get out of the studio and go do something hands-on. I love that. And I hope to do more of it in the future, of course. But get out when I can, I guess, whenever I can break away from the studio and get some free time. But it's still, a great thing, and it's fun to get out there, and it's fun to bring you guys with me for that visual adventure. So, but it's just amazing. You missed it by minutes, Beastly Bronco. Sorry about that. Thank you, though. But you can check it out. It's recorded on YouTube on our catalog over there. But welcome, everybody, to tonight's show. If you want to call in and be a part of the Paranormal Portal, you always can. The number to the portal is 720-923-0500. 720-923-0500. So absolutely thrilled to talk to all of you and to hear what you're experiencing in the world of the paranormal. I've been really excited with the podcast, with the live shows, with our TFR live show. We're getting so many emails now and so many contacts from people out there, and it's really incredible. And as people are filtering in here on YouTube, the numbers are going up pretty slow. They're pouring through the portal. All right, good. That's good to see you, Gia. Good to see you. I don't recognize you, but it's good to see you. That's a new name to me. To everybody in TFR, hello, Lucky, Paradoxical Anomaly, the Wookiee is there. Good to see you, Wookiee, and everybody else. Deep Root is in there. Hilarious Naysay, good to see you, brother. Bam is in there. Intelligent Creature and Polynation. Good to see you guys. And it's just a few people on YouTube. It's starting out really slow over there, but maybe there's some kind of roadblock at the portal entrance that I'm not, not familiar with. But I literally have like 5 people in there outside of myself right now. And it's Beastly Bronco, Beth Fierce, GSC, and Real Dill, and that Harvey girl. So we'll see who all filters in throughout the ensuing day, or the ensuing show, as it were. But hope everybody makes it. There's Rick. Good to see you. You glad I'm doing okay? You know, I so when I did the live stream earlier, and I don't know, I got a stick stuck on my foot as I was trying to pull it forward to take the next step, and I went down just like poof. So it wasn't one of my more graceful moments, but honest to God, the ground was like, it was so spongy and soft, it was like falling on a mattress. So people were like, oh, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. It's really soft ground in the forests. So it really wasn't like I took a huge impact or anything. It was like falling on a mattress, really. But I appreciate the concern people have shown. I assume that's what you're talking about. Hello, Fiddleback Guy. Welcome, Real Deal. Let's see, stick on your foot. Yeah, it was like I was stepping forward and the stick got hung up on my shoe, and I was trying to pull it forward, and I was already leaning, like I was already committed to the step, but my foot wasn't coming because that stick was like holding it in place. So I went down. But anyway, I made it. I came through it just fine. So thank you to all of you who are coming in. We got a listener email tonight. Actually, I got another message that I got on our Facebook groups from a gentleman that's responding to our podcast that we did, which involves children having like awareness of their prior lifetime, having full or very good clarity on where they came from before they were encountered or incarnated rather into this lifetime. And it's really a fascinating phenomena of these children going, hey, I remember I was here and this happened, and then I went to sleep, and now you're my mommy. And it's like, wow, some of the things these kids have brought up. And the reason that I like those especially, and it's kind of the same reason that Raymond Moody focused on children when he was doing his near-death experience studies, was that children don't have the preconceived notions. They don't have the program belief systems to have to try to remove from the accounts. They don't have those things in their mind. So when a child that's 3 or 4 years old is telling you about their other lifetime, they don't really have the belief system that us adults have that may be part of the phenomena. Not that not that it necessarily is, but people do sometimes give themselves. People do sometimes. I don't know. They're not always the most objective about their own experiences, because we have these fantastical belief systems, and that's not a bad thing. And I'm not trying to degrade anybody of that, but I think when these ideas or these visions come from these children, they're very pure and they're very unadulterated in any way. It's just, this is something that they believe actually happened, and when those stories are able to be corroborated by actual fact, that's some pretty incredible stuff. So, and several of them have been, to my knowledge, and maybe many more, but I've heard of several stories where psychologists actually gave them the benefit of the doubt. They didn't just throw Ritalin at them and, put them on medications and stick them in a corner. They actually talked to them and researched it, and were able to find out that a lot of the facts that these kids were bringing up were actually very factual. They were actually pretty dead on, including, in a few cases, meeting their own children. So these little small children were meeting their children from when they were incarnate before, and would recognize them by name. So that seems to be incredibly profound and incredibly bizarre phenomena as well. But I do think that some of those cases that are mentioned could be children picking up a psychic imprint of a place. Like, so for instance, if they're near a waterway, there was a child that the story I carried on the show, on the podcast, was, oh, mommy, I remember when I was swimming, when you weren't my mommy, and my other mommy was yelling to me, but I couldn't come back. I couldn't come back to her even though I wanted to, because I was underneath the ducks. And then I fell asleep, and now you're my mommy. And I think in a situation like that, that may be a previous life memory, or it might perhaps be a psychic imprint of somebody may have drowned there. Someone may have drowned there and left that impression, and that child was able to pick it up for whatever reason. I'm not saying that for sure. That's a personal theory of mine, but I think it's worth engaging in. So, all right, people are finally pulling in. Hold on. All right, so we I don't know. It's like the slow pour on the YouTube audience tonight, but I guess they're coming in now. So good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Was there football on, or what's going on? It's like I'm competing with something here. No, it's kind. It's fine. Many of you were actually with me during the live stream earlier today, so maybe you got your Portal supplement for the day and didn't need another episode. But I don't know. Let's see. So I got an email to go over first of all tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and this is from our longtime listener and contributor, Linda in Minnesota. And she said, this is a couple weeks old now, but she said, last Sunday afternoon, October 20th, I was working in the kitchen. I turned left from the sink and then dishwasher towards the center island, and as I turned away, the hand towel that was hanging from the dishwasher handle suddenly snapped off and was on the floor. I spun back to the dishwasher and said, busted. Oh, you are so busted. And she laughed. And really, I had to laugh because every day before we go to work, my husband Scott takes the hand towels off the dishwasher and oven handles and puts them on the countertops. He has blamed these poor dogs for 2 years, or for years, she says, for pulling them every day while we are at work. Now, if you're not familiar with the show or Linda's stories, she's had several paranormal events and has been kind enough to send those in to us to share on the show. Pretty crazy stuff, but yeah, that's really awesome. And she caught it. She caught it this time. But it's not attention stuff, I guess, for whatever reason. But anyway, let's get back. So that was the email, and I got another story, and this is the one that has to do with the reincarnation, potential reincarnation story. But, I hate to say for sure because you got to keep an open mind, but at the same time, I don't know. Only this person knows whether what they're saying is true or not. But he says, and this gentleman is named Gary, and he says, this is a copy and paste of mine from a past life regression group I'm in. I joined this group because I wanted to listen and hear their from like-minded people in the know, and I haven't really posted anything as of yet because I haven't felt comfortable enough to do so. When I was around 12, I had my first trance/trip back, or recollection of my past life. I was talking to my mom about whatever, and the next thing, she was shaking me to wake me up. I was sitting on the floor in mid-conversation. She said, I stopped talking and my eyes closed. I didn't lay down or fall over. I remained in the same seated position. The time frame was around 10 to 12 minutes of duration. I was looking at a young Lakota Native American boy about the same age, and we did nothing but stare at each other as the wind blew the long grass and buffalo ran past and between us, being chased by warriors on horseback. The weird thing at the time was I knew I was looking into like a mirror at myself. I was that boy. This relapse has happened many times over my life, and I'm now 36. It's the same moment. Nothing changes except the way the buffalo run. Years ago, I wasn't sure what it was exactly, just that it freaked my mom out. I've always had a fascination with the native culture, collecting pictures of chiefs and the like. The music, the drumming, the singing has always resonated with me. A little while ago, I was listening to the podcast History on Fire, in particular the series War of the Black Hills, which is mainly about the famous Crazy Horse and his exploits. As it got into it, it didn't really sound like anything new to me. It was more like when a friend reminds you of the time you did something like this or that, and a clean memory that sounded so familiar. I haven't had a relapse for a few years now, but I feel more troubled than ever. I feel lost, out of place, like I want to go home. I don't want to be here. Now, I'm not talking anything suicidal, but I know I'm here now in this state of being. I just don't feel like I belong sometimes. I wake up in the middle of the night crying, lump on the throat right now. My wife asks me what's wrong, but how can you explain it to someone that doesn't get it? I'm not asking for a reading or anything. I'm just opening up to people who may understand. It brings me great troubles in my mind through anxiety at times. So I turn the death metal up louder. That usually calms me down, but sometimes it doesn't help at all. I have my long black hair, my Lakota tats, and what I think are memories, and the whole time I'm staring at myself in that field. That's incredibly powerful. It's got to be a hard thing to have such a profound memory or resonance to a time that doesn't exist anymore and to a situation that doesn't exist anymore. And I don't know. That's kind of hard, but how do you do? What do you do when you don't fit in where you are? So for me, I've always had this really powerful resonance to a few timelines, but one of them is the 20s. Something about the 20s I just like, and I don't know why. Perhaps it's one of my past timelines, and I love listening to that old big band music and stuff. I love, the watching those old movies that depict the 20s. Haven't done it for years, but I just know that there's a resonance there. There's also a resonance to the medieval times. Like, I feel like that was maybe an important time for me. I don't know. It's hard, but I think the thing to remember in those kind of situations, and Gary, if you're listening, is you can bring parts of that into your life now, and you can still celebrate that in this life now. But you are already there, and you need to remember that and stay focused on where you're going as much as you can. And now I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist that's probably qualified to tell you that, but that's just my 2 cents. I think it's a beautiful thing. At least you have it inside of you, and you can always go back and be there. If you learn to meditate and if you learn visualization, you can go back to those moments when you need to and take solace in it. Probably need to get out in the nature more often too, because it sounds like you've got a lot of nature resonance with you, and that might be very powerful for you to go to some of the places that maybe were important to you in that lifeline. Just the thought. I don't know, but try to find peace with it as much as you can, because while I think past life stuff is important, I think people get too focused on it because, and this is just me talking. It's not me being critical, and so forgive me if it comes across that way. But I think that we got to stay focused on where we are, not so much where we've been, but we can draw strength from where we've been. We got a phone call right away here, so let's get to the phones. Hello, Anonymous. You are blocked in.
Hello?
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 Hi.
Are you there?
I am there.
Okay, hold on 1 second, please. Okay, I'm back. Are you there? Hello?
So far, I'm here.
Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. 1 second. Hold on, please. Hello?
This might take
Are
a
you
while.
there? Okay, I'm so sorry. Hello, how are you today?
I think I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Okay. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Are you there?
I believe I am.
Hello, who is this?
Well, I'm Brent.
Huh?
I'm Brent Thomas. How are you?
Oh, hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay, we're good. Thanks, sir, so much for calling in. That was a lot of fun. That's the second night in a row we got a kind of a crank call, and I think they're funny. I mean, that's cute. If somebody wants to call in and be silly, that's fine. I don't have time to keep holding on, but I appreciate that. Thanks. Smiles are important. You got to remember to smile. So anyway, that was a recap of that a little bit. Let's see. We got a bunch more people came in. Let's see. Will Collins, how you doing? Good to see you. Todd253, hello. Deep Root, hello. And Doc Kayak. How you doing, Doc? I miss you, brother. Good to see you. It's been a while. It's been a long time. And I'm sure we got more in the TF or in the yeah, we do. We must have more. Let's see who's in. Okay, so we got a lot more in YouTube. It's Adam Envy's in here, BC Bronco, Bell Pepper, Beth Fierce, Big Rob, 3300080, Bob in Germany, Bun is here. I can't tell you how glad I am you picked that name. Cameron's in here. Cannabis Resolution is in here. That's Mr. Naysay, our brother. Dean Mazer is in here. DJ Big Red 210. Gemini Moon. Half Q is in here. I am Pam. Mogion Monster. Rachel Gets It Right. Rick, a.k.a. Purple Hobbit. Real Deal. Suzanne Page. Tiffany Billieu. And World Bigfoot Radio, our own Duke, who appeared with me today on our podcast. So if you get a chance, check that out. Duke and I just kind of had a quote-unquote fireside chat about Bigfoot and other cryptids. So we had a good time. So check it out. It was a good time. My mouth is so dry. Oh, Lord. Sorry, it's just this winter heating or the cold air or cold outside heater on inside, and it just dries me out like crazy. All right, so let's see where we're at now. We got about 6 minutes until the break. So you know what I'm going to do? Let me see. I think I still have this open, so I'm going to check it out here. Not this. This is not what I had open. Not what I wanted open. By the way, the Paranormal Portal podcast is number 8 in the category of natural sciences in Australia right now. Or it was earlier. I don't know. It's real volatile. It goes up and down a lot. And Sasquatch Chronicles was number 7. So we're right there, neck and neck with Mr. Wes Germer, which is a real honor, actually. It's a real honor to be that close. So, and our good buddy Kate is up in there in the charts as well. And the Confessionals is in there as well. So, but that's our best position, I think, yet on that chart. So really exciting stuff. And let's see, number 29, United States of America, Natural Sciences. That's good. So I don't know. I kind of do. I guess it's kind of bragging, and maybe it's in bad taste, but it's just something we've worked so hard on these things, and it's nice. It's nice that it's getting traction, because we do so much work on these things. So, all right. What the hell is this? Okay, so this is some of those stories of people having memories of the past life, and I thought about doing another podcast about it, but I thought, no, you know what? Maybe I'll just do it here on the show. So I'm going to read a couple of these for you guys because I think they're good and it'll bring us into break. So the first one says, it's coming from Roanoke, apparently. I would tell my older sister about my death. I told her my husband was captured and fire was everywhere. I took my young son and ran, and I told her my son couldn't run fast enough. I knew we would get killed, and I had my husband's knife on me, and I wanted to leave a clue. I wrote in capitals, CROATOAN, and I told her we were caught and how my son was killed before I was killed. I told her how I was stabbed in the stomach with a knife, and then I went about playing with dolls. I can still picture the scene and my son to this very day. Now, if you're not familiar with the Roanoke Island mystery, it's apparently some of the first settlers to the United States from the colonies. The first boatloads came over, and they were brought to Roanoke. And they came back later with more ships and supplies, and the whole colony was gone, just disappeared without a trace. Couldn't find any idea what happened to these people, where they went. They were just gone, disappeared. But the one clue that was found was carved into a tree was the letters CROATAON, Croatoan, for lack of a better pronunciation. So that's interesting. Wouldn't it be interesting if that was actually one of the people who had been there? The next one, she used to come visit me. My son says he remembers his great-grandmother, my grandmother, and can describe her in perfect detail, how she looks, how she acted, even what brands of cigarettes she smoked. Although she died 11 days before he was born, he says that she used to come visit him in his dreams. I don't think that has much to do with the past life, but I think that's actually just a spiritual visitation. All right, another one. Apparently beginning around the time my friend could form sentences until he was a little more than 2, he would go on and on about how he was a Native American named Conchon, Conchon, and that after his wife and son got sick and died, he moved to a mountain to live by himself with his horse. He died of a broken neck when he fell into a ravine. Oh, wow. So this is like a little child coming up with this. How does that happen? children are creative. I give you that, but I mean, come on. That's a whole narrative there. That's I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's just the musings of a young mind. It seems more profound than that. Let's see what time we have here. Yeah, I got about a minute left. I think I can do about one more before the break here, so let's go into this. It says, my real mom and dad were killed when the bad men came. When I was 2 or 3, I was talking to my grandmother and told her that my mom and dad weren't my real mom and dad. My grandmother, knowing this wasn't true, said that they were. I calmly explained that no, my real mom and dad were killed when the bad men came. I had lived because my mom hid me behind a rock. And then I went on to describe white men with guns and us dark people with long hair. When I was done, I went back to eating my ice cream. Huh, that's really strange. And one more, I guess. This one's really short. My cousin, approximately 3 years old, and riding in the car with my mom and dad, pointed out at a random house that they went past and declared, I died there. Yeah, okay. That's very strange. That's like a tour of past lifetime. All right, let me see. Yeah, that's going to be about it. So anyway, if you get a chance, it's just a little teaser about that podcast. If you want to check it out, it's on our podcasts from Wednesday, I think. I think that was Wednesday's show. Might have been Mondays. Mondays or Wednesdays. And it's all the kinds of stories like that of people remembering their past lives and the experiences they had. So we're going to go to our break number 1 here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go away. We got so much more coming for you right here on the Paranormal Portal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Paranormal Portal. Welcome back. I missed you. I just got to say it. I missed you guys. It's just not the same when you're not here. I'm sitting here at the desk pretending that I'm talking to you guys. No. I was just talking to the chat room to see if any of them were the guilty party of who was making there's 2 nights in a row there's been a prank phone call. And they're funny. I got to admit, they're funny. Good taste, good humor. Except the last one was talking about aliens abducting people with big units. So I had to cut that one off because it's like, no. Otherwise, it was funny. But anyway.
This is not a valid menu option.
You know, dude, I ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what the hell that was. Did you guys hear that? That is really creepy. I'm not connected to anything other than... That's really weird. You guys hear that in the TFR? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely flummoxed. I have no idea where that came from. I'm the only call on my call board. So it's not like there's a call going on there. It's just me. I'm not... I'm only connected to Skype, to TFR, and that and web pages. Nothing else should have made that sound at all. Nothing. So, this is not a valid menu option. Yeah, you're right, Lucky. I don't know what the hell that was. That's really weird. I know this is the portal, ladies and gentlemen, and honest to God, I don't understand half the crap that goes wrong here, but it was weird. That was really weird. It was like I was being answered. Well, what is a valid menu option then, please? Got to deal with that. I think I'm going to light some incense just to be sure. That was a little odd. That one's definitely going to go on the list. I'll have to let Don to grab that clip. Let Don know to grab that clip because that was really creepy. That was truly an odd one. I mean... I was just talking about a prank call because that was a prank call earlier, but I disconnected that and they disconnected. So it's not like they're still here able to screw with the show. Very bizarre. You just never know what's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I say it tongue in cheek all the time, but I kind of mean it. This is the only paranormal show in the world that may actually be haunted. But what do you do? It's not terrible. It's just weird. All right, so the power of frankincense will cleanse the ethers around the studio. All right, where the hell was I now that I got interrupted by our potentially ghostly visitor? That was so weird. I was absolutely flummoxed when that happened. I've been doing the show for 3 years now, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a new one. Mic's not working? Yeah, we've been through that. Camera issues? Sure. Latency issues? Many times. And latency is latency. Nothing weird about that. But we've had sound issues. I had my sound drivers just reset the other day for some reason. I assume it was Microsoft updates, but I didn't get any notifications that they updated. I don't know, oddities on the portal, ladies and gentlemen, but that's what keeps it fresh and interesting, I think. But if you want to call in and be a part of the shows, please do. The number is 720-923-0500. 720-923-0500. So if you have something you'd like to share, some kind of paranormal weirdness of your very own, Disco Duck was just instructed to come here. Who instructed you to come here, Disco Duck? That's very interesting. Okay. Well, wherever they were instructed from, I'm glad you made it. Thanks for coming in. Bun. I got Cha-Cha and Bun now in the chat room. Everybody takes these weird names from these stories and they run with it and they rename themselves in that in the YouTube chat. Last night, Bun actually came from a story. Last night, there's this little kid who had a little stuffed rabbit that they called Bun. So I said, no, nobody's going to use that name. Oh, Kev did? All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Kev. I appreciate it, brother. Sending the traffic over. That's a beautiful thing. It's hard because I was watching Kev before my show, and he always goes a little long. And it's hard for me to actually stop to go do my own show because I enjoy listening and watching to what they're doing. But I had to go. It's so hard. It's so hard to walk away sometimes. All right, let's get to more of these stories because I thought they were incredibly interesting. The next one is, this is these again, our children having what may very well be past life memories. Said, I did something sort of similar, I guess. When I was about 3, my mom and I were driving over a bridge on which there had recently been a major accident that resulted in a car bursting into flames and the driver dying. Anyway, I asked my mom who the man in the front seat was, and when she told me to describe him, I said, well, he's on fire and he keeps looking back at me. Jeez. Now, that's not past life stuff, but it somehow made this list. It's still creepy as hell, and it's it's wildly paranormal. That would be a horrible thing for your kid to see. This one is, my mom told me about a story I told her when I was 2 or 3. I told her she's the best mommy I ever had, to which she replied, well, I'm the only mommy you've ever had. And I said, nuh-uh, I had another mommy. And I said that my older sister and I went out to a pond in the woods behind my house. Around the park, all the trees were the same type, skinny, with white paper like bark. I had never seen a poplar tree before in this life. And we put some logs together to make a raft and put it in the water to play boat captain and climbed aboard. Well, the raft fell apart and I didn't know how to swim. I tried to grab a log, but my hand slipped off and I could see my sister freaking out from underwater. I drowned. Oh, that's sad. Oh, dear God. Ugh. This one's a little longer. One of the 6 hopping out of the, it's kind of a chops right into it. It goes, one of 6 hopping out of a helicopter into a field. Oh, it's My War Memories. They're using the actual title of the story as part of the narrative. My War Memories. One of 6 hopping out of a helicopter into a field. It's hot as hell, humid daytime, two house buildings smoking and heavily burning straight in front of me to the side of the chopper, and there's firing from the woods and field to my right. It's chaotic and noisy, lots of firing and helicopters. My guys are firing back, crouched next to the back building, and one guy runs out of the other building with a kid. He pushes forward and yells to run. The kid gets shot from out of nowhere and drops, and I see a few of my guys advancing from another chopper behind me, duck down in the grass as their chopper leaves, and I crouch in tall grass about 10 feet from my chopper, fire my rifle twice from just above the grass, and my chopper starts to take off and is taking fire. I get up to move forward, panicky, and am shot dead. I feel a hard thunk, see part of my chest explode, fall forward and go black, and zoom out above my body. I also drew this later, still have pics. There's no pictures that they're showing us. To me, it's clear as day still. Mom said some of my first chatter was about heavy fire, zip 'em boys, don't know what that means. And I would ask, where's the Hueys? I was born in the early 70s, and my family was not military, very anti-military, actually. And I err on the side of thinking it's media, news footage maybe, I absorbed at some point from the Vietnam War, but I also wonder if it's not a past life memory. Yeah, that's weird. Zip 'em boys. Heavy fire. Where's the Hueys? Yeah, no little child should know that stuff. Okay, so this one says, that's why I don't like water now. When my kid was 4, we were watching a documentary on the Titanic. The scene was a picture of the schematics of the boiler room, and the camera panned from left to right over the plans. He pointed at the TV and said, that's wrong. The boilers were on the other side, and I was right here. And he pointed to a small space in the boiler room. That's where I was, and that's why I don't like water now. Wow. That's enough to give you chills, huh? Huh. So here's one. My family's farm burning. When I was younger, I'd have dreams of living in colonial American. I remember bits and very vividly, but only when I was older did I realize what they were about and how accurate they were. Most of the dreams consisted of me being in my late teen years and centered around the family's farm being set on fire during the night. I never dreamed past that night. Nothing about the aftermath of the fire, and I haven't had one in years. And I guess they don't really go into specifics, but he was talking about how uncanny those memories were and how accurate, but I don't know where he's quantifying that. Nobody scroofs me there. Getting my 2.5-year-old daughter out of the bath one night, my wife and I were briefing her on how important it was that she kept her privates clean. She casually replied, "Oh, nobody scroofs me there. They tried one night, and they kicked in the door, and they tried, but I fought back. I died, and now I'm here," she said. This like it was nothing. My wife and I were absolutely catatonic. Wow. Scroofs? Never heard of that. Nope. This one's titled Nope. Before I was born here, I had a sister, right? Her and my other mom are so old now. They were okay when the car was on fire, but I sure wasn't. Oh, no. Oh, no. That poor kid. Oh, here's another one. Their screams are keeping me up. I was in my room on the computer at about 11. Oh, wow, we got a call. I'm going to read this one, and then I'll get to the call. I think that's Nace calling in. I was in my room on the computer at about 11, which is late for my sister to be awake even now. And I was thinking about bed, but then my sister knocks on my door. She was maybe 10 at the time, so not so young, but not so young that she doesn't know when she's dreaming. She wanted to sleep in my room because she was sad and scared, and I asked her why, and she said, "I watched your sons burn up in the fire. Their screams are keeping me up." Wow. So this one's called Role Reversal. There's two very quick ones here, so let me read these. Role reversal. My 3-year-old said, "Remember when I was the grown-up and you were the little boy?" to his dad. And when he was grown up, my father used to hate policemen. When he was a kid, he used to tell my grandmother that they came into his house and shot him when he was a grown-up. Wow. That'll keep you up at night. All right, we got a call here, so let's get to this call. Let me get to it. All right, and this is area code 701. You are on the air. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for taking my call. Can you hear me?
I can hear you wonderfully. Thank you for calling. Can you hear me?
I'm not going to ask you to hold on a second.
Okay.
But hold on to my love, if you would.
I always will.
Really interesting. Today, I was actually thinking about some experiences that I had that would be under the guise of past life. And being on the phone and listening to some of those creepy ones, it made me think of, and I don't know if you covered this with your show the other night, but I remember reading about this one child who remembered being shot down, and he was a pilot during World War II.
Oh, sure.
And he was drawing pictures,
mm-hmm.
and he was talking about dog fights, and his parents started looking into it and researching it.
Yeah.
And the kid was pointing out types of airplanes and pointing out visual cues of looking at maps from above. And come to find out, the child was remembering a Air Force squad, I think it was.
Yes.
And 4 of the guys were still alive, and he was able to call them out by name.
Wow.
And I can't remember the kid's name, but it's
yeah.
It was a really well-known, probably about like 4 years ago, I believe it occurred.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with the story. Yeah, that's a really powerful one.
But my own experience is, I remember as a young child, we were watching Johnny Carson, and my parents were sitting on the sofa behind us, and me and my brother were sitting on the floor watching the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And on Johnny Carson, they had those Tibetan or Himalaya throat singers.
Oh, sure.
You know, when they
Yep.
chant
Yep.
and they
They
yes,
got octaves going
exactly.
on. Yep. They're octave singers. Yeah.
Yeah, they do one octave in their throat, and then they match their nasal cavity,
Mm-hmm.
and so it resonates in a different octave or in a harmonic tone.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting there watching that, and I remember my mother said something about, you know, how extremely interesting that is, and how do they do that?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember turning around and I said, "Oh, it's easy. You go like this." And I started doing it. And I remember that the surprise look that my parents gave me, and when they looked at each other, I thought I did something wrong.
Oh.
Because, you know, because they were startled by it.
Right. Right.
And so it almost startled me. And so I stopped, you know, and I was like worried, like, oh, did I do something wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom, she was like, "How do you know that?"
Uh-huh.
And I said something like, "Because I used to do it."
Wow. That's
something
awesome.
of that nature.
Yeah.
Now, the other one that I have came across, and this has only been in the last 15 years, but what it is I don't know if it is Egyptian. I want to say it's even older, like Babylonian.
Uh-huh.
But the memory is that I am like in a position of a physician.
Mm.
And I am literally, in a sense, like a gynecologist.
Okay.
And in the vision is there are women that are brought in and put on like an examination table, and I have these instruments, and this one instrument looks like a long pencil, but it had like, you know, the top of an ankh to it,
Uh-huh.
and the pencil part is hollow. And it's not, and I'm only saying it's like a pencil. It wasn't as thick as a pencil. It was a lot thinner. And what it had was a copper wire that was in the center of the tube going up,
Mm-hmm.
and then it had like a plunger to it. And when you push the plunger into the hole, it would push the copper wire through the top of the arc, and the copper wire would curl upon itself. And we would take there was these special women, and I don't know if they were for lack of a better term, like the king's women,
Mm-hmm.
or the harem,
Okay.
or, you know, they were specialty women, and we were putting these copper spirals in their uterus because it would prevent them from getting pregnant.
Oh, wow. Okay, so like an IUD, yeah?
Yeah, and I got this memory when me and my partner, when we were scrutinizing child, childbirth, contraceptives,
Okay.
just, in the event of having children, because
Right.
we weren't ready to have children,
Okay.
and so we were looking in all these different measures, like birth control and the pill and
Mm-hmm.
IUDs. And then in Europe, they were talking about these copper IUDs. And then when my partner started explaining it to me, it like hit me like a ton of bricks.
Whoa.
like it played off like a movie in my head
Wow.
that I was doing this.
That's really
And there was
powerful.
as time progressed,
Mhm.
I would try to do meditation and try to, do, self-hypnosis or regression because I believe we all have this ability
Right.
to look back within our cellular memory.
Mhm.
It's just, can we remember how to do that anymore?
Right. Very true.
So I wanted to share with that, because I would like to believe in the romanticism,
Mhm.
that we have come back,
Right.
and we continue to come back. And from my research into the Bible, reincarnation used to be taught in the ancient scriptures,
Oh, okay.
and it was taken out when the church wanted more control
The Council of
than
Nicaea.
they did wanting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, when they realized, how do we write this book for more of a control mechanism than really people enlightening themselves?
Emperor
And
Constantine.
I think that's when it
That's right.
kind of,
And Athanasius. Yep.
absolutely.
Yep. So
Absolutely.
somebody in the chat room said it's SMP156 said the child who remembered past life as a pilot was James Leninger. So that's the name, James Leninger. Leininger. And I might be mispronouncing the hell out of that. But yeah,
Yeah,
very
that is a remarkable story, and
Yes.
I love the idea, the romanticism of it, but in that whole realm of, if there is reincarnation, what is to say that we don't reincarnate as a goat or a frog or a flea?
Well, it depends on what religion. If you I think it's the Hindu religion believes that we do all of that. We come back as all these different things, and maybe that's true, and maybe it's not. I don't know. It seems to me that there's like different kinds of consciousness, and I think that we'll probably pretty much stayed focused on the kind of consciousness we are, but there are other kinds of consciousness which are part of the scope and function of this realm we live in. And so I don't know if they're all the same. Maybe there's crossovers. I don't know, but it's curious for sure. Maybe we've already been those things. I think I think I'm really paraphrasing here, but I think the Hindu kind of say that it's a progression of consciousness, that maybe we were all these things. But then you hear about they might come back as goats or different things. So I don't know. Good question. I guess I'm not really well versed on reincarnation enough to have an in-depth conversation about it.
Well, if we go into the claim that energy is never destroyed,
Yes.
That it's only transferred,
Transform.
and it's only able to be moved,
Mm-hmm.
then in that logic, it would seemingly make sense that we would, or the electromagnetic field that is us, our essence, if it's not able to find a vessel of human qualities, then wouldn't it not want to be the next best thing?
Right.
And as a Native American, we make the proclamation many times that the animal kingdom is far more intelligent than we are, and far more spectacular than we are, because they aren't caught up in desire and wants like we are. They just exist to exist, where we get a little wrapped up in the possessions of our possessions.
Right. Very true. Very true. Not worldly. So, don't be worldly, man.
Right. But thank you for doing the things you do, my brother. Always good to hear your voice, and hello, chat room.
It's great to see you and hear from you too, brother, and thank you so much for always contributing to the show. It's great to hear your voice, and I thank you very much for calling in.
All right. Love you, my brother.
I love you too, man. Take care. That, of course, was our good friend, Mr. Nase, who is, he is Anishinaabe, and a great friend. He brings a lot of First Nations understanding to the portal, which I really appreciate, because I love that we have people of so many diverse backgrounds and knowledge bases that can help flesh out understanding for us, because I think all of these cultures are incredibly, they have incredible gems of wisdom, and they can bring a lot to the table as far as understanding. I'm just messaging Don. I'm going to have to message Don over the break and tell him about that computer voice that came through that has absolutely no bearing on anything I'm doing. Very creepy and weird, but very cool. I like that kind of stuff. But I guess that's the bell, ladies and gentlemen. The bell means it's time for our hour break, so don't go away. We got a lot more to cover here on the Paranormal Portal. I'll be right back here with you. I'll be waiting for you. Don't go away.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, ripping scars across my heart. Raging anger pours inside me as their lies keep falling apart. But I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness. Just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise. You're just another fucking mess. Taking all the slice of my sanity. Just make sure that you're well fed. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken yet. I'm not broken
I can't see you, Mommy. Where are you? I've never sensed anything like it. Caroline is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that's different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeist are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
And years and years and years, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon in the chat says, "Can you talk about it more?" He's curious about the voice that came through. So what had happened, Brandon, is the first half hour, we got a prank phone call or something, and it was cute. It was funny. Somebody just being silly, but nothing offensive, nothing horrible, just kind of cute. And it was the second half hour. I think it was second half hour. Was that second half hour or first half hour, guys? Because I could, but I was talking about that again, making a reference to it again, just like I wonder who that is, and suddenly, without me touching anything, without me being connected to anything else, other than the normal stuff, a computerized voice comes through and says, "This menu option is not valid," or something to that effect. Those kind of words, is invalid or something. It was just really strange. It's like, what? What the hell is that? And everybody heard it, both in TFR and on YouTube. So it's definitely part of the broadcast. I just don't know where the hell that came from. It was the first half hour. Okay, so I guess it was just the end of the first half hour, maybe. Anyway, that's what happened. So I don't know. Hauntings can go on years, dude. But clicking like now can stop it immediately. It's like an instant exorcism. Clicking like on our YouTube feed, I think, is. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a part of tonight's show, please feel free to call in. We are in hour number 2, and the phones are in operation as always. So call 720-923-0500. That is the phone number for the Paranormal Portal, 720-923-0500. However, if you're a little shy about that, you don't want to talk on the air, it kind of freaks you out, I'm surprised at how many people are actually really stressed out about calling in. It's really hard. And I understand some people just, it's freaky to be talking to public like this, but it's just me. But if it is a little hard for you and you still want to share your story, you can certainly email your stories to us, and you can email them by sending them to paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Again, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear your stories that way as well. So, there it is. It's pretty spooky. Wish I would have been here for that. Yeah, well, the beauty of it is, Brandon, you can actually rewatch the first half hour or so of the show on YouTube, and you can catch it. It's there, apparently. I know it'll be recorded there. So, anyway, we are running wild here tonight. Lots of things going on, but I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, and thank you so much, everybody, for being here and being a part of the shows. If you're not familiar if you're coming to the show from either YouTube or from the podcast, and you're finally watching it live on YouTube, and you notice these breaks, I sometimes explain this periodically because I don't think everybody understands. On Friday and Saturday nights, the Paranormal Portal is connected to our mother network, which is TFR Live, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com, and we are actually broadcasting on internet radio on TFRlive.com. That is also being simulcast onto iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. And so there is commercial breaks set up for the internet radio. So we do have to take those breaks here on YouTube as well. Rather than piping through a bunch of commercials for you guys to listen to, I decided to make these little video montages with some music for those of you on YouTube, so that you wouldn't have to sit through commercials. So that's why you're seeing breaks on the shows on Friday and Saturday night. The Wednesday show is a 2-hour show as well, but it's not when we're not connected to the network at that time, so there's no breaks. But I just thought I'd explain that because some of you are new, and it's like, why are they taking breaks? What the hell's going on? That's why, because we have to. And I hope that explains it, because I get that question about once a week on YouTube somewhere. So I thought I would address it just in case it comes up again. So let's see. What do you guys want to do now? What do you want to do now? You want to talk about some Bigfoot or something, huh? We could talk about some Bigfoot. I got some Bigfoot stuff to talk about if you want to talk about some Bigfoot. I got some sightings and field reports of Bigfoot sightings around the nation, possibly parts of the world. Let's see. Here's one that's talking about a report from June 28th, 2018. It says, my dogs were barking, so I got up to look outside, and I see a very big creature, fast walking, going south. He crossed the road and disappeared into the woods. I'm not sure what this was, and I've never really believed in Bigfoot, but whatever this was, it wasn't human, and it was about 7 feet tall or more and walked on 2 legs, so it wasn't an animal either. He never even glanced over my way and didn't seem too bothered by my dog's barking either. This happened about 45 minutes ago, and it's now 12:58 a.m., May 3rd, 2018. I'm not going to give out my location because I don't want a bunch of Bigfoot hunters out here, so please don't ask. So the interesting thing about that is sometimes they are real stealthy, and then sometimes they're not. Okay. Thank you, Five Hazel. Well, it felt like an accident, but I appreciate what you're saying. Let's move on to the next one. And this is, sometimes the Bigfoot are just, it's weird. That's the one thing that really bothers me, because they are so incredibly stealthy, and they're able to be stealthy, whether they are completely able to do some sort of paranormal feats, like phasing between dimensions, or if they actually, there's some function of their hair and skin that allows them to, change color almost in a chameleon-like way or something. I don't know. I've heard that their hairs are actually hollow. I've heard, and perhaps the color of the skin underneath can change or changes a little bit, and so maybe that's how they blend in. I don't know. There's lots of ideas on the table about what's going on with there are some people that witness them just disappear. It looks like they just phase away. But what if they had some function to their skin that wasn't unlike, let's say, for instance, a chameleon or a cuttlefish or something like that, an octopus. It's not unprecedented in nature that things can, change a bit of their form and blend in completely. I don't know. I don't know anything about it for sure, but these are thoughts that that occur to me. But we know they can be incredibly stealthy. They cannot be seen if they choose not to be. So then an incident like this happens, and it's like, well, how come? How come it's just walking out there like it owns the place? What's going on there? And it makes you wonder, why are they so absolutely brave like this? Now, I know Bear from Bigfoot Outlaws, he's been on the show before, and he said that he believes they're counting coup, that these are probably the younger ones. And it's kind of almost a dare of games, a game of dares, rather, where the young ones may group up together and just do stupid crap like this just to count coup. And I think that's really interesting, because I do think that the intelligence of these things is on par with us. I really do, if not even more intelligent. So maybe they have games like this where they just screw around and go, hey, why don't you walk across that lawn? I'll dare you. And if they do it, then they get some pride points or whatever. Things like that. I don't know. There seems to be, I really believe that he's probably right, though, because they don't need to be seen. They can move absolutely invisibly, silently, without even raising an eyebrow. And, it's not a trouble for them, but then things like this happen. So I think Bear's right. I think that's probably a strong possibility. This one is, I went outside at around 9 with a couple of cheap flashlights to go looking for some nightlife. Had a Canon camera with me and decided to take pictures with the flash. that must have went over well. I took about 5, and then I thought I should head back. When I got back, I looked at the pictures. It was already way past dark, and a certain one struck me. And eyes around 8 feet up and perfectly spaced apart. I zoomed in on that picture and realized that I had come within probably 75 feet of the creature. I showed everyone else in my family that right away, but nobody really paid any attention. I know that we get bears down here, but it had to have been standing on its back legs to get its eyes up that high. And I thought right away that it might just be a raccoon in the tree, but when I went down to look the next day, something big had definitely been there. A certain palm had some of its leaves stripped off, and the grass was patted down like something had been standing there for a while, except the area patted down was about 6 feet in diameter. I don't know what happened, but the thing had to have crossed over 5 feet barbed wire fence to get there, and my dog was with me, and he didn't smell anything. I still have the pictures, and I can show them to anyone. Show anyone the palm. That's interesting. Here's some snow prints in North Carolina. It was snow on the ground, and footprints were found in an unidentified animal. The animal has a foot that is 15 inches long and a stride of 9 feet between footprints. And more prints have been found in dead deer bodies with human-like bite marks, and a not touched dead deer was found on the front porch of my home. Oh, I brought you a gift. It was not touched, but it was very dead. So I guess it likes you at that point. Or it's trying to buy your silence. It's like a mafia thing. Here, you need to go shopping, huh? And just remember, keep it quiet. That's like a little strong arm technique, maybe. You're going to take this deer, you see. You're going to give it to your kids, and they're going to have a nice meal, huh? Now, I don't want to hear nothing more about it. You never know. Never know. Could be Bugsley Booger up in there. Let's see. We got a call coming in. Let's see who's on the horn now. This is area code 410. You're on the air.
What's up, man? 410 in the house.
Woo! Represent,
It's
brother.
Brandon Blackfire. Yeah.
Hey, Brandon. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, bro? I love the show, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. How'd you find us?
Yeah, I found you guys from Bigfoot Odyssey and then came over.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, we have a lot of fun over there. And we've had a lot of fun guest hosting that show as well. But thanks, brother. How's everything over?
Man.
How's everything on your neck of the woods?
Going good, man. It's kind of freezing here in Maryland right now. I'm outside in the freezing dark, so hopefully I don't get too scared and run back in.
Did you bring a flashlight?
Telling these Bigfoot stories.
Right. So what's your feeling on them? Are they capable of disappearing or not? What do you think?
Oh, bro, I fully believe that you guys are hitting it on the nail on the head when you're saying that they have some type of skin or maybe even hair that lets them kind of change like a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, there's too many pictures you see where these things are, like, completely hidden, like, right in front of you, 15 feet in front of you in the bush.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think there is something to that. I just don't... I don't know.
Kind of terrifying, too.
Right, because that's the problem. There's no... You'd think they would stick out like a sore thumb, but they don't. They're just totally, like, melded with their environments and so many pictures.
Oh, yeah, masters of camouflage.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other thing that I found interesting, Brandon, since you're on the horn and you're a Bigfoot enthusiast, is that I find it interesting that there's so many different descriptions. Like, I'll hear a description. In fact, Kerry, when he told his encounter, Kerry of Bigfoot Odyssey, he told his encounter on the show here, and he talked about how its hair was just all full of mud and just clumps and just looked like an absolute disaster. And then...
Oh, yeah, from crawling on the ground.
Right. But then, I got to thinking, you hear so many other encounters and people talk about how amazing their hair was. Like they just came out of a salon. It's just perfectly groomed, nothing knotty or matted or anything about it. And I got to thinking, when people, like, so let's say a sniper, a military sniper, they of course buy ghillie suits and they're pretty good at breaking up silhouettes, but what they also do is they decorate their ghillie suits with debris and fauna from the earth, not fauna, debris and like leaves and things from the area that they're in. And
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, natural camouflage.
Right.
To put that natural camouflage on. And you see it all the times in movies, video games.
Right.
I'm younger. I'm 24, so I'm a big video game enthusiast too.
Sure.
And you always see, video games where you crawl in the mud, you're crawling around the mud and putting all this natural camouflage on you to try to hide you from the enemy.
Right.
And I mean, these things got hundreds of years of evolution to, learn how to use the natural camouflage to them.
Right. So,
but then you get that other, like you were saying, where it's like the hair is super clean and they actually look super clean. And then you get some saying you can smell them from a mile away. So it seems like it depends from case to case sometimes.
Well, you see, what I'm thinking is that I wonder if they don't, if they probably do keep themselves really well groomed, but when they're hunting, they probably go into hunter mode and they do probably like muddy up their fur and put sticks and things in it just so that it makes them blend in even more. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you also get that whole big like argument kind of where it's like a lot of people are saying there's really no proof of them even eating meat. And it's like, are they really throwing rocks or breaking deer's feet and, grabbing them and catching them up? I think they would have to be that big and, to sustain themselves out in the wild like that. But, a lot of people think that they actually don't even eat meat, that they just, kind of forage off of things.
Well, I think, Don kind of says it right. He says they're opportunivores, and I think that's a good word for it. I think that they eat anything and everything because if they're that big, their caloric intake must be just through the roof, and they're going to need protein in pretty huge supply to
definitely
to sustain that kind of body mass. I mean, I'm all for if you're capable of being vegan or whatever, being vegan, but I think that's a lot of people like impressing their own beliefs on these beings that they don't understand.
Oh no, definitely right, and it's like you kind of get that whole, I guess when people are feeding them, they say that sometimes when they stop feeding them, they get like super agitated and angry and want to come like, beat up your trailer or wreck your place and stuff. And then sometimes they don't even go after human food.
Right.
So it's like, I guess case by case scenario.
Yep. Or maybe they just don't like some of our food.
Yeah, that's very true too. It seems like they like things that we can make, and they sometimes leave people feathers on their doorsteps, and leave like 3 feathers there, or stack rocks up in a certain way. It seems like I wanted somebody to leave a picture of a Bigfoot out in the woods and see if they mess with it, like a patty picture, like leave that sitting somewhere, see what they do.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? That's a great idea. I think you should do that, brother.
Yeah, or like them.
You should do that. That's a brilliant idea.
In Maryland here, it's too. It's a lot of dogman sightings around here.
Oh God!
Like I'm kind of close to Baltimore, but I'm still like near kind of the the rural sections of Maryland, and it's like tons of dogman encounters out here, man. It scares me to death. I'd rather run into Bigfoot before dogman.
I think I would too, because just generally, I don't know, dogman doesn't look like it likes anything. At least you hear some peaceful encounters with Bigfoot. I don't hear of any peaceful dogman encounters.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool.
I love hearing the encounters where it's the Bigfoot coming in and helping people.
Yeah.
Like where they see a dogman or they think like a dogman's about to attack a person, and it's like, and then this roar came out of nowhere, and it's almost like the Bigfoot and dogman were fighting.
Yeah, those are amazing. I'd like to believe those are real too. I hope maybe they are. I would like to think that maybe they're the good guys.
Yeah, I mean, the worst case scenario is having a dogman and a Sasquatch team up on you. Then it's like that's some nightmare fuel right there.
That's game over. It doesn't even have
and
to
everybody's
start.
saying how dogman, you don't know if they're demonic or if they're just natural creatures. I mean, it gets into a whole nother thing with them.
Yeah, it does. It sure does, brother. I appreciate your call, man. That's really cool. I'm glad that you found us and that you're participating.
Yeah,
with
no
us.
problem, man.
This is awesome. And if you find
I love how you do this call-in thing. It's awesome how you do this call-in thing because you don't see many other shows really doing this anymore, and it really gives the chat and people watching it like a more connection with the audience and the people on the show and everything. It's awesome to really talk to you, man. I feel like what I mean. It feels almost unreal.
Oh, man, I'm really thrilled that you feel that way, and thank you so much for calling anytime, brother. The lines are usually open on the show.
Yep, no problem, man.
All right, you have a great night, Brandon. It's nice meeting you.
You too, man. You guys have a good night. Thanks for the shows, man. I appreciate them.
Yeah, all right, brother. Very cool.
See.
All right, and we got another call here, and it's anonymous, so we'll see how this one goes. Hello, anonymous. You're on the air.
Hi. Thank God I reached you. Look, I need right now. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. I don't have great reception here.
Apparently, you don't. Yeah.
We don't have much time.
We don't.
We need to make sure that we do that, okay?
I don't know what you're doing.
If I need to go out and kill and stuff, then make sure you have a dad.
I do have a dad. I got one of those.
Do you have?
I'm sorry?
Look, just make sure you go there, get a crate of bean curd and a taxidermy parrot.
Well, thanks for your call,
If
man.
you can't do that,
Oh,
make
that's
sure
cool.
that you.
I know what's going on now.
My wife.
I know what's going on right now. Those are, I think those are like pre-programmed ones. Let's see. Are you still there? No, they hung up. Those, I think there's these sites on the internet where you can set up somebody to receive a call like that, and so I think that's a couple of them now. This person is setting up our phone number to these crank call sites on the internet that IP dial, and they'll. That's funny. Good humor. I appreciate that. It is a recording. You're right, Moog. That was great. But yeah, Brandon, it was great hearing from you, brother. Thank you so much for calling in, and it was great to have an opportunity to talk with you. And I like keeping the lines open. I like to have that connection possible too. I think that, you guys make the shows way better than I could alone. There's no question. And of course, when you can have dialogue with someone, it always makes things more robust. I mean, I don't mind reading things. I do it all the time on the show, and just talking to all of you listeners. But I really love it when you call in, because it gives me a chance to hear what's on your mind. Just saying. That was funny. Those crank calls are hilarious. Yeah, they've been around for a while. But let's see, we got 3 minutes left. Okay, let's get to one more of these fascinating Bigfoot stories here. Let's see what's the next one. But I think that's cool. That last one left a deer on his porch. Wasn't touched. Wasn't even messed with. But what was going on there? I think they just want to be friends. Would you eat it? Would you guys eat it? So a deer shows up on your porch. Obviously nothing's wrong with it. It's just not living anymore. So would you harvest it? Or would you, well, I guess you got to worry about the legalities of that though. But let's say you didn't. If you didn't have to worry about the legal issues of it at all, would you dress it up and, butcher it up and put it in your freezer, make meals of it, or what would you do with it? And let me know. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. I think I'd be, just like, well, there's nothing wrong with it. Dinner. I don't have to ask what Don would do, because, he's got a wall of freezers for opportunities like that. So let's go to the next one. I was just driving, and there it was in the water. It looked almost like it was bathing, but it was waist deep in the water and kind of moving its arms around its body. I unfortunately was driving too fast to take a picture, so I understand if you don't believe me. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that people have sightings. I don't think that kind of thing is really as debatable as it might have once been. I think people are much more accepting now of people just having random sightings. A lot of people have had them. So here's one. Now this is interesting, and this goes to Brandon's comment about people saying Bigfoot don't eat meat. Here's a sighting that would contradict that completely. The Tongrass National Forest in British Columbia. Me and some friends were going on a hike through the forest when we heard some sort of stomping or rustling in the bushes, and when we went to get a closer look, we saw a single Bigfoot eating a deer carcass. He briefly looked up at us and then continued eating. Me and my friends were so afraid, and we will never be hiking in those woods ever again. There you have it. You can't pick and choose which ones you believe and which ones you don't, and there's nothing in this story that's out of the ordinary, except for the fact that it just kind of looked at them and just was like, "I'm eating. Come back later." That's not necessarily normal behavior, but if he was hungry enough, maybe he needed to eat. So he got a meal and he was going to eat it. But it does seem, I really believe that they eat meat. They just eat everything that they can. I think another interesting point that Brandon brought up was they don't eat a lot of people food. And to me, what that probably means is that they can really and truly sense the chemicals that are involved in our foods, things that we don't pay attention to. They know when something smells like a food and when it smells like something else. And I think their senses are so much more attuned, and it's very possible that all the chemicals and preservatives and weird crap that's in our food is offensive to them. They just think it maybe smells gross. So, they probably don't want anything to do with it in many cases. So, and good for them. I don't think we should be eating most of our food either. So anyway, let's, they'll eat dog food. You're right. That's true. And horse feed, like the sweet grains and stuff. But anyway, guys, we're going to go to the last break of the night. So don't go away, and we'll be back for the last half hour of the show. gentlemen, welcome to the last half hour of our show tonight. It has been a barn burner up in here, I tell you. It's been a barn burner. Now, if you're having a good time and you want to continue your evening of fun, you can certainly stick around on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, because Paisley Wild's coming up next with her Spaces Between. Is coming up right after us, and it's her journal, kind of her living journal of her journey into the pagan lifestyle, and I think it's incredibly interesting and really neat. Some great information, a lot about getting back in balance and with nature, with everything, with yourself. And she's just a wonderful person and a dear friend. So I hope you guys will definitely support what she's doing and help her out. And if you haven't listened to her before, then you can certainly do that by going to tfrlive.com/chat and hanging out there, listening to the show. Or you can go to iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live on the TFR channel, Truth Frequency Radio channels on all those different platforms. Or you can check her out on her YouTube channel. She's got a YouTube and streams live as well. And that is the Spaces Between. And she is in the chat right now. Oh, you're welcome. Of course, dear. Your family, of course, will give you shout-outs. We love helping each other out. And so definitely. And then, of course, tomorrow night we are followed by both Paisley and Duke from World Bigfoot Radio, his show comes on following Paisley. So tomorrow night it's the Paranormal Portal. It's the Spaces Between, and then it's World Bigfoot Radio, all on TFR, iHeart, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live. So it's an epic journey, an epic night. And I think you guys should check it out. It's worth a listen. Sorry, I got itchy in my nose. Cat hair. Sorry. All right, so we got a half hour left. Again, the phone lines are open if you want to call in and be a part of it. I'd love to hear from you. 720-923-0500. 720-923-0500. It's almost got a beat to it, so you can call in and be a part of the show. We've had 2 prank phone calls tonight, and I think they're funny. I don't know. I hope it's not annoying you guys too much. I don't get it too uber anal about stuff like that. I think it's fun. It's nothing inappropriate. It's just humorous. So I do. You're right, Bob. I do. I need a humidifier. You're probably absolutely right. You know what? You are. I had one, but I bought a cheap one last year, and it was really cool because it came with like an aromatherapy thing. You could put in essential oils, and it would just humidify the hell out of your house and give you this lovely smell. But it just kind of burned out. It was like a Homedics version from Walmart, and it didn't last at all. Oh my God, Elaine! Oh my Lord. Match me. Oh, I love you, Elaine. You're so amazing. Thank you so much. She challenged you. She challenged you guys. I don't know. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Elaine. That means the world. It definitely is so amazing. Wow. We have the greatest listeners in the earth, in the entire planet. I don't care. Put it up. I'll put our audience up against any show out there, and I still think we'd be heads and shoulders above everyone else, unless our same audience members are on other shows, and then they're awesome as well. I can't speak to that, but this is just a really cool deal. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Elaine. That means the world. It helps us out a ton, and it really keeps the lights burning here on the Paranormal Portal. It ain't cheap running a portal mechanism, I'm just going to tell you. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in this baby, but it's a journey I wouldn't trade for the world. So we just received a donation from Miss Elaine, who is just phenomenal. Elaine Clifford, you are a beautiful soul. Thank you so much. Okay, now I got some more Bigfoot's encounters. These are quick little snippets, but these are actual reports that were submitted. So it's not just some random Reddit things. These are actual reports that were submitted to this site. So, and these are coming from BigfootFinder.com. And this is the repository of sightings here, BigfootFinder.com. All right, so this one has to do with Pine Grove State Park. It says this is from June 21st, 2018, and it says, after a quiet winter, we experienced howls. Not dog howls, but a series of howls tonight around 7:15 p.m. coming in the directions of Bear Mountain. Conditions in and around the mountain were not great. Lots of mud, high winds, and wind chill, but nonetheless, a productive night. Next week, we're setting up the cameras and parabolic mic. We're going to pinpoint the source of the howls and identify the source. I believe we're onto something, and we'll be updating our results next week. Well, that's interesting. I don't recall them updating in the ones that we've read up to this point as we're going older and older. So this person, just a quick one sentence. Spotted one crouching in an open field while camping. That is interesting. Huh. All right, let's keep going here. I'm going to go to older ones as we're moving back in the Wayback Machine here. This is northeast of Idaho City. It's from northeast of Idaho City, Idaho, on a trail off Granite Creek Road. I'm not really sure where Idaho City is. I live in the state, but I don't know where it is. I'm not native to here, but it says, my friend and I were deer hunting on the last day of general deer season. The weather was getting nasty. It was cold, and it started sleeting and snowing and blowing in on us. The morning, sometime after 9 a.m., we were hiking up a trail, probably three quarters to a 1 mile distance, when we heard a whoop, whoop. My friend turned to me and asked, what was that? I said, I have no idea. We didn't see anything, and we continued to hike. We got up the trail another mile or so and decided to turn back. We got back to the area where we heard the whoops before when we heard it again. Whoop, whoop. And I said, I wonder what the heck that is making that noise. We hadn't noticed any other hunters or vehicles in the area. I've been going into the mountains for years and have never heard that noise before. Sounds like you ran into some squatch. That's what I'm saying. This one, oh, this is different. This is unusual. It's a Bigfoot sighting, but check this out. I saw a giant sloth-like creature make its way onto a campus apartment at Tiffin University. I believe the building had the address of 359 Miami Street, and this is from Ohio. And it is apparent that the Sasquatch species is evolving as it drove up in a large silver truck, Honda and model, walks upright with ease, but lacks an ass. Sorry, I had to read that. Short hair in the head and hisses anytime it feels threatened. Actually, I think it's just saw Mike Sable. I don't know who Mike Sable is. That was funny. A sloth-like creature that hisses. That's hilarious. Good humor. See, I'm not opposed to some funny stuff. I'm good with funny. All right, this is large creature hunting local wildlife. Prince George, Virginia. Another sighting at around dusk again, same area as last, but this time my daughter spotted a 7-foot creature getting up and running with its backside facing us. I got a glimpse of something white and tan in color, huge. A week prior to this, a bunch of coyotes were seen in this area raiding chicken coops. Now, all coyotes are mysteriously gone. Beaver dam broken up as if something was looking for food. Weird howls at night. There is definitely a Bigfoot here in rural Prince George, Virginia. This is from 2018. I would love to know if there's any updates to this. But, squirrels. What are you talking about, Cha-Cha? Rachel is spelled squirrels. All right. Now, this one's a Yeti or Bigfoot seen on a road in Arlington, Tennessee. Well, if it was seen in Arlington, Tennessee, it's not a Yeti because Yetis are a regional name for Bigfoot that are over in the Himalayan area. So it's not a Yeti. But it could be a booger. Could be a skunk ape of some kind migrating up. I don't know. Let's see. I was driving home late one night, and a big Yeti-like creature came out of the woods and darted across the street. I was trying to keep up with the huge creature, but he was just too quick. He was about 10 feet tall, and very hairy, and he had a small nose and huge hands and feet. I couldn't sleep the rest of the night knowing I'd just seen Bigfoot. Wow. It's nothing too over the top. It's just a chance sighting, but pretty cool. Bigfoot possibly hit by a vehicle. Oof. This is Little Rock, Arkansas. I was driving down the road at sunset on the interstate, and I saw for a split second a huge black-furred ape-like creature laying face down on the side of the road, possibly 8 or 9 feet tall, well over 400 pounds. Again, I did not see this for long at all, but my friend saw it too and said, "Did you see that?" And all I could say was, "Yeah," as I had never seen anything quite like it. Please tell me what you think. Well, I think you should have taken a closer look. That's not good. Then the person says, "Do you think a creature could have been struck by a vehicle? It would take a pretty large truck to take down a Bigfoot and typically shy away from busy roads." Good point. All right. Oh, come on. I think this one might be a hoax, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, I'll bring it up on camera and you guys can tell me. Do you think this is legitimately a Bigfoot sighting? Let me know. What do you think? Those of you on YouTube can see it. Those of you not on YouTube cannot see it, but I'm here to tell you it's definitely not really a Bigfoot. It's some guy that's got like a Bigfoot hoodie pajama set or something. I don't think that's legitimately a sighting, ladies and gentlemen, but darn hoaxers. They're getting better and better every year. It almost had me for a second there. No, I never believed it. For a minute, I knew it wasn't a Bigfoot. But cool. Thought I'd show you that because it made me chuckle. Obviously, people on the site also have a sense of humor. And that's cool. This is one sentence. Mount Katahdin in wherever the hell Mount Katahdin is, or Katahdin, or however you'd pronounce that. We were hiking and we made a Bigfoot call and something responded and starting throwing rocks at us. Yeah, that's where it goes wrong. The expert opinion says there have been some reports of rock throwing Bigfoot, but are you sure you weren't just antagonizing another hiker? Maybe. So this is Huntsville, Alabama. It was very, very big. Its footprints were huge. It could have eaten me whole. I realized it was a Bigfoot before I got my camera ready, and he ran off into the wilderness, and I never saw him again. I've seen a lot of Bigfoot tracks around here, though. That's cool. So did you guys not believe that was a Bigfoot in those pictures? Did you guys even see it? I don't even see that. I don't see that my YouTube chat even blinked. Oh, yeah. Not Yeti. Okay. Joseph Crow says no. All right. Looks damn real to me, Brandon says. I think so too, Brandon. That had me shaking a little bit until I realized it had another face coming out from under its chin. Then I was on to it. Darn hoaxers. Bigfoot wears Nike, maybe. I don't know. It requires a hell of a shoe, but I'm saying they may be. All right, let's see what's next here. This one's odd. I wonder if it's anything to it. It says underwater Bigfoot encounter the Pacific Ocean. I was on a casual swim across the No, this is not real. But I'm going to read it anyway because it sounds funny. I was on a casual swim across the ocean when all of a sudden this ape-like thing grabbed my leg and pulled me down to the seafloor. It had a tea party set up complete with mermaids and vampires, the Loch Ness Monster, and even Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible. I had a cup of green tea and it was just amazing, but back to the fake creatures that don't exist. That ape was 39 feet in width and 4 feet tall. Exactly, because it happened to have a tape measure with me. He had super big nipples too. Almost as if they were hard. It was crazy. I even got this Snapchat. There you go. Yeah, obviously. Here's the thing. There's always going to be dicks out there, and there's always going to be people trying to mock other people. And I'm thoroughly in the belief that they're out there camp. I mean, there's no question. But there'll always be idiots like this, and you can't let stuff like that offend you. It's just, you got to take it for what it is. Some schmuck just trying to, push his beliefs out there and try to belittle people that believe in things like this. And if you let people like that affect you, then life's going to be a long, painful road, because there's hundreds of these people everywhere you go. So, the thing with the paranormal and with Bigfoot and with all the cryptids and flying saucers, UFOs, is that you can't expect that everyone's going to subscribe to that. Just like I don't suspect everyone subscribes to, Buddhist beliefs, and not everybody subscribes to any religious belief system. There's people that are going to believe you, and there's people that aren't. And it's the same thing with all this paranormal stuff. But it's not a matter of faith. I don't think it's really a matter of faith. The paranormal just is out there. It just happens. It reveals itself to whomever it reveals itself to. Maybe it's random, maybe it's predestined, but you can't be real sensitive about that, about the fact that somebody may not believe you and may mock what you believe. But it's not about them. It's not about them and what the hell they think. And if you go through life looking for public validation, then you're going to be having a real long, painful life, because that just doesn't exist usually. So you have the belief because it's something you believe in, and you pursue it because it's something you're interested in. And whatever the hell anybody else thinks is their problem. So just my 2 cents on that. So this one is an unsolicited Bigfoot attack from Heber Springs, Arkansas. Or is it Arkansas? I don't know. I'm just saying. I was hiking when out of nowhere a large, hairy, about 8-foot creature tackled me and threw me to the ground. I got up and shot in the direction of the beast. Later that night, I was in my tent and I heard rustling outside. I looked to find the Bigfoot once again, and this time he came after me. So I ran, and I haven't been back since. Now, is that real? It could be. And that's the problem, since some people are so cheeky with this site. It's hard to know if this guy is being legitimate or not. It's not. I imagine if he was through to the ground, if he had the wherewithal to grab a gun and shoot when he's getting chucked to the ground by a Bigfoot, that guy's got to be carved of some kind of steel, because, there's sightings of people seeing them grabbing 400-pound hogs by the back feet and swinging them into trees, killing them. So if a Bigfoot swings you to the ground, it's generally a pretty brutal act. But I hope this guy's all right. If it is a real story, I hope he's okay. It's from Heber Springs, Arkansas. I don't know. What the hell is that? Okay, here's the little one from South Carolina. I was walking in the woods and saw it, the Bigfoot itself, and couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I saw it run up a hill and disappear without a trace. Yeah, it's amazing the speed that they are witnessed traveling, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that they run, sometimes most of the witnesses that have seen them actually run, like full out run, talk about how they can't believe that something that big could move so incredibly fast, like it was scary fast. And so their power is just all across the board. It's not just lifting, grunting, being able to move heavy things. Apparently their legs are so incredibly powerful, and they can move like, there's been reports of people being on four-wheelers. Bear was telling us one about somebody on a four-wheeler that he knows that had one run up at him from out of the bushes, and he was doing about 45 miles an hour on this four-wheeler, and the thing was keeping up with him, and then he kicked it up until like 50, and then he was pulling away, and finally the Bigfoot cut off and ran back into the woods. But my God, that's that kind of speed. That would run down a racehorse or a deer or anything just on an open stretch. If they're moving that fast, I don't know what to tell you. There's just, if they want something dead, they're going to get it dead in a hurry, because not many animals in North America could outrun that if they move that fast. That's like on the top tier of ground-based locomotion. There's not anything here, I don't think, that can run faster than that. Maybe there is, but I think most anything they want to go after, they're going to get. I've heard from a hunter, apparently. He was hunting up in I didn't hear this personally, I've seen this report, hunting up in a stand, and saw a Bigfoot shoot out from the woods, from the wood line. There was a doe there, just grazing right in the corner of this field shot out of the deer, or shot out at the deer, grabbed it, and slammed it quick, and then carried it away. Now, if you've seen deer, you know how quickly they react. It's just like, if you snap your fingers, they could jump like 10 feet in the air, and then they're just boom, gone. They are so quick and so responsive, and yet there are stories like this where these Bigfoot can be so stealthy and quick and quiet that they can actually run out for several feet, grab one of these things, and run away. And that's amazing. Their physical prowess is just, hundreds of percentage faster than us, and many percentage faster than most. Let's see. What was I going to do? I feel like I was going to do something tonight or talk about something and hadn't. But if you didn't see the impromptu field report from today that we did, Julia and I went out. I haven't seen Julia in there, so I don't know what happened to her tonight, but she must have got busy. But we went out and did some hunting for some sign, and where there used to be some of these little mini structures that she found 2 years ago. We went out to that same area today, see if they still stood, because there's a report out there floating around the internet now about these little microstructures that are, probably about 6-7 feet long, but they look like little teepees, or like almost like cocoons made out of sticks and stuff, that are laying on the ground in this forest area. And I guess they're like 6 or 7 of them appeared overnight, and the rangers don't know how they got there. Nobody knows where they came from. But when I saw that, I was like, well, I've seen this before, because Julia had actually sent me pictures of something very similar that she had seen in this area. So I got a hold of her. I said, let's go out there and see if those things are still standing, or if there's something more. Well, we went out to that area. Those structures were nowhere to be found. Where she had found them before, they were no longer there. But we did find what could very well have been another structure. And you'll have to watch that footage and check it out. But I thought it was really interesting. And I had a long talk with Duke about it today. And, we talked about the possibilities. And he shared with me what some of the other investigators around the country are finding. And there's another investigator down in, I think, Arizona that's found similar structures like this. So very cool. So check it out. It's part 2. It's Squatch This 2. Squatch This 1 was a very short intro because my camera froze for some reason. So, which now that I think about it, Duke, how many times have you heard of people using cameras around Bigfoot and having them freeze up or having technical problems? This is my cell phone, ladies and gentlemen. Streaming live, the camera froze. The voice still worked just fine. So we killed that stream, restarted it, worked fine. But that was weird. I didn't think about that till now. It's like, but wait, the camera froze. Anyway, check it out. It's a cool thing. I think it was cool anyway. What do we got left for time? We've got exactly 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So basically about 2 minutes left. So I guess that's probably where I'm going to stop with the stories. And I'm going to talk to you about making sure to stick around. Again, Paisley Wild is coming up next. And she is, her show is The Spaces Between. And she's a dear friend of ours, so definitely support her if you can. Stop by her YouTube channel. It's Spaces Between on YouTube, youtube.com, The Spaces Between. And she is also on TFR Live. And you can catch her there if you just want to listen. But if you want to watch, head over to YouTube and check her out. I may stop into there for a while after the show. But a lot of things going on. Make sure to check out our podcast, of course, Paranormal Portal. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Pandora, Chatbox, and a bunch more. There's just so many platforms that we are carried on. We're doing great, getting amazing feedback from so many people about the show, and it's just been really wonderful. So Don will be with me tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be great to have Don back in the studio, and we can dive into some more stuff, as we always do. Brent, have you turned on your computer program? I think it's Ghost Radar. No, I don't have Ghost Radar on. That's not even connected to this main computer. It was on a laptop that I ran on the side over here, but that is now over there, shut down. It's connected to my music studio now, so the Ghost Radar is not active here. But good thought as far as that being maybe what that voice was. But no, that's the Ghost Radar app is on another laptop that's not even on right now. So It's just weirdness up here in the studio. I can't tell you. I don't understand it, but it's just the way it rolls. But anyway, I think that's going to be about it for tonight. Remember, tomorrow night, of course, we'll be back 7 p.m. Pacific time, 7 days a week on YouTube. There is a live show going on, and you can watch our well over 500 episodes of videos that we've done on YouTube. We've got a hell of a catalog there. We've got 85 podcasts if you check out our podcasting catalog. But subscribe, like, share, let people know about the portal, ladies and gentlemen. We're wanting to grow and grow. And thank you again, Elaine. I love you bunches. That was wonderful. I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody.